Hey, what's up, you guys? So here I'm bringing you the deck profile for my little Spirit deck that I've been working on for a little bit of a while. It's a Spirit Synchro Deck that can bring out Quasar and TG Halberd Cannon. But that's not the main focus of the deck. The main focus of the deck is mainly just synchroing into some stuff like Armades, Barbarian, Go-Yo Guardian, etc. Just bring out big beat sticks on board while still maintaining the awesome hand advantage that the spirits yield. And yeah, so the big entry points to your synchros is this little card right here. Sure, I only run one tuner, but that's all I need to, because this guy is the most versatile tuner in the game since he can change his own level at a moment's notice. And that's why my level spread is so large in the synchro department. But let's go on with the deck profile then. First run one Dark Dust Spirit. It's basically just a Judgment Dragon that cleans the monster board, at least. To get rid of any nasty monsters, and on top of things, it can crash with friggin' Midrash should it become an issue. This is a TCG deck though, so you don't have to worry about a Midrash if you're playing this. At least not until Midrash is a thing. Next run, 2 Yamada no Kami. This is your spell trap card destruction. Outside of maybe some stuff, if you want to put in MSTs, I don't know, you can. And it's also some entrance ways into synchro plays, mainly something like Black Rose Dragon, if you need to clear the board of some nasty cards, or just need to make something a little bit bigger. Next we go on Feng Huang to get rid of my opponent's nasty back row. This is basically a Harpy's Feather Duster full set spell and traps. And on top of things, it's a 2100 beats deck, so it's kind of interesting in that regard. Then we have Yaksha. Yaksha is kind of like a nice little stun card. When he's summoned, you can bounce back a spell trap card if one controls, and then if your opponent just plays that one back row, you can just bounce it back and attack with Yaksha and keep on looping that until you regain hand advantage. It's kind of nice. Next one, Azura Priest. Azura Priest here just because he's a bit of a strong monster and runs over many monsters at once. If your opponent should play something like Scapegoat or something like that, to play a bunch of weak monsters to prepare for something. Azura Priest is your guy. I only run one though because he's kind of meh. But I needed a fairy in there for reasons you'll see later. Next we run the Rakshasa. Rakshasa is so much better than Azura Priest. It's basically a way to get rid of extra deck monsters that are in attack position. You can either set him face down or just summon him to get rid of something that you don't really want to deal with, say a Beals or something, because this deck kind of has a problem with Beals and stuff like that. And also, it's kind of nice because sadly you can't XC summon with this guy if you activate his effect, but regardless. Next we have 2 Izanamis. Izanami is a great card because it allows you to get back your spirits in one piece while still ditching something valuable you have in the grave, like say Symphonic Warrior Basses, which is actually kind of neat. It's also there because it's a level 4, it's a fairy. It doesn't really have that much great attack, but all monsters here combo well with another card, which we're going to go through later. Now for the ones that are the 3 monsters, no, well, the 6 monsters really, that combo that makes this deck work. This guy searches out pretty much everything in your deck besides Symphonic Warrior Basses, which is why I run such a high monster count. Because Aratama just searches out everything, and it's an infinite search, basically. So yeah, he's kind of awesome. Because he allows you to add a spirit from your deck to your hand, and then just bounce him back. You're going to have a bad time if you don't have Aratama early on. Next we are on Nigitama. Nigitama is an amazing card because it allows you to basically go into every single spirit that is level 5 or higher in your deck, because you can just go Nigitama, because that's like a normal summon, you can just normal summon out your Feng Huang or Dark Dust Spirit, should you need to. And plus you get to draw a card off of it. Or you can just go ahead and Synchro or Xyz with it, that's perfectly fine too. Next we run 3 Symphonic Warrior Basses, because Basses is a level 1 tuner that can change his level. In case you do not know his effect, he essentially changes his level, increases his level by the amount of cards you have in your hand if you activate his effect. You can either treat him as level 1, or depending on how many cards in your hand, you can treat him up to a level 7 monster should you need to make your Stardust Dragons and whatnot. And here is the other card. These two make the synchros of the deck, basically. Kinkabyo brings back your Symphonic Warrior Basses, and you synchro with them. I discovered this combo while trying out another deck. That's the level 1 Monster Mash. That is just absolutely fantastic. Next round, 1 for 1, just to kind of ditch, just to get out our Symbolic Warrior Basses as fast as possible, and just either synchro with them or try to ditch one into the grave. Because you want this guy in the grave as early as possible. Next round, 3 creature swap. This is basically a big eye for your deck. You just summon any spirit you want, activate, the creature swap, and then steal your opponent's monster, and you'll get back your spirit by the end of the turn, which is kind of awesome. Next run 2 Abstract Goblin for increased consistency. I don't run 3 because I feel like that's a little bit overkill, and it takes up too much space. I have all the draw power I need anyway in the deck, so. Next run 1 Bottomless Trapple, pretty self-explanatory. 3 Legacy of Yatagarasu. This is a combo with creature swap as well as some added draw power. Then 1 Mirror Force, because remember, we're not going to be running many monsters that are out on our field while we're not going to be having many monsters on our side of the field early on. So having a lot of protection to save yourself from any unnecessary damage is always a good thing. So that's why I run 1 Mirror Force and 3 Deep Prisons. Next round, 1 Compulse to get rid of any nasty XYZ monsters if we don't have Ratsetsu available, or just stopping an attack if it's necessary. Then we have 2 Wiretaps because protect your monsters as much as possible, because if you lose your Nigitama or Aratama to something like a Solemn Warning, you're not going to be very happy. Let's just say that much, because you just wasted a very precious summon. And then lastly, 1 Solemn Warning to stop my opponent's big plays, just like with Bottomless Trapple. Now for the extra deck, 1 Quasar Dragon, 1 TJ Halberd Cannon, 1 Shooting Star Dragon, 1 Leo, 1 Stardust Dragon, 1 Black Rose Dragon, 1 Goyo Guardian, 1 TJ Hype Librarian, 1 Armades, 1 Allied Justice Catastor, 2 Formula Synchrons, 1 Silent Honor's Arc, 1 Lovable Chain, and 1 Gaga Cowboy. That runs up my entire extra deck. The reason why I run these 2 is because I can make them. It's not the big focus of the deck, but I can make them, and they're pretty strong on their own right, and it's a win condition if you get them off. I have done so in the past. The reason why I don't run 2 Quasar Dragons is because I really want diversity over power. So I kind of want to have access to both a Halberd Cannon and Shooting Quasar Dragon should I need a Halberd Cannon more than the Quasar. Alright, but that should run up the extra deck. Now for the siding, you can make your own siding as you will please, but this siding I'm going to run with. 2 Arclord Christias, because we're running a bunch of fairies in here, like 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We run 9 fairies in this deck, so this is a nice little thing in case you should run into something that's special summon heavy. Then 1 Gorse, because we're not running it many monsters. Sure, we run a lot of back row, but a Gorse is still nice nonetheless. Then Electric Virus, 2 of these, because JD is the thing, and you want to get rid of it as fast as possible, because this deck loses to JD like nothing else. Then Maxi. 1 Maxi is a special summoning deterrent in case we should run into something like a Draco Sack or some. It's my answer for Girgia, basically, because this deck thrives on draw power. I mean, if you have had advantage, you pretty much win the game right there. Then 2 DD Crows, because Lightsworns are still a thing, and banishing out those Lightsworns as fast as possible is important. Then 2 Effect Veilers, because negating effects is really important, and it's a level 1 tuner too, so it's another target for Kinkabiel, should you want to run it. Then 2 Mystical Space Typhoons, because sometimes a Yaksha is not going to get the job done. You can replace it with 2 MSTs. 1 Soul Drain, because this deck does not necessarily rely on effects that happen in the graveyard or when they're banished. Aside from maybe Nigitama, that's the only one I can think of, but since you're only going to be running 1 of them anyway, stopping things like Eclipse Viverns and stuff is really important. So, yes. And finally, 2 DNA Surgeries to make everything fairy, and just making sure that our opponent just doesn't benefit from their typing. And yeah, that's the entire deck right there. Tell me what you guys think, and I'm out.